When I got ready to leave the Disney Corporation, I got a call one day from a journalist from Florida Trend Business Magazine. And whenever you work at Disney, Mickey Mouse rule number one is that you never talk to the media unless authorized. Well, I wasn't authorized, and so I talked to the media. And the guy said to me, Simon, where do you see yourself 10 to 15 years from now? I said, well, I see myself as the president and CEO of the Walt Disney World Resort, and eventually the chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Michael Eisner moved over. Well, needless to say, this journalist puts this in print. True story. So the article comes out, page 12, Florida Trend Business Magazine, February 2002. You see this Godiva chocolate guy. That day you can see bodies being thrown from the top of the corporate office. And my boss called me in and he says, dude, what were you thinking when you did this interview? I said, Larry, I work at this company whose motto is, if your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme for when you wish upon a star. Makes no difference who you are. But obviously it does here. So, and the reality is, I wasn't passionate about becoming the #1 guy at Disney. In fact, at the time, I was sales director for the Disney Institute, and I was jockeying for the next position. So I thought if I did the interview, all the powers that be would say, hey, you're Simon, we're a multicultural, diverse thinking company, let's hook a brother up. They hooked me up all right when HR showed up and said, would you please sign right here? So I signed this little document that went in my file. They didn't fire me right away, but I did hear the footsteps coming. And what I realized that day, and I stayed with Disney for about another year, and as good as the company was to me, for me, I decided to leave. It was time for me to move on. And in that process, what helped me in that process is I had 4 of the job offers on the table, and I came home one day, and Renee, my bride, I love her more today than the first day that I married her. She is the best thing that ever happened to me. Now some of you guys ain't clap because you know your wife is the best thing that ever happened to you. Putting up with your foolishness. And she said to me, she said, Simon, whatever you decide to do, I'm with you. And you know, all a man needs to know is that his wife is with him. Whoever said behind every great man is a great woman was a fool. It's beside every man is a great woman rolling her eyes, said if that joker didn't have me, he wouldn't be here today. What am I saying? I am saying, men, if you want to release your brilliance and take it to a whole nother level, how can two walk together unless they be agreed? Do not move unless you are on the same page. Because when I got ready to leave Disney, I cashed in my entire 401k with significant Disney stock. Took out a line of credit on the house. Renee didn't work outside the home. All because she said, I'm with you. Daniel was 4 years old. Madison was 18 months old. She said, I'm with you. And the moment she said it, something unlocked in me that I can stand before you 7 years later and tell you that brilliance is a process, not a one-time event. Brilliance is a marathon, not a sprint. Some of you within the next 90 to 120 days, you are getting ready to shift. You're getting ready to move into a new stratosphere. Do not play small. Do not act small. This is the greatest time in the history of America to do something bold. Go and do it. Number of people went to work 30 years ago, woke up one day and say, this doesn't work anymore, because they settled for a chair, a check, and a cup of coffee in Cubicle Farm. And put their brilliance in a straitjacket. And I'm telling you tonight, loose and let it go. There's more potential in you. If you're working in a place and there's so much jockeying going on right now, trust is eroding. And I'm encouraging you, if you're going to go from nothing to something and be brilliant, you need to ask yourself, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What would I do if no one paid me to do it? What makes me come alive? Third question came out of a book I was reading at the time, written by John Etheridge, called Wild at Heart. John says, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive. Because what the world needs are people who come alive. And you see, why we are connected to Danny Claypool is because he comes alive. Yeah. And what he has in him rubs off on us. Yeah. See, one of the interesting terms that jewelers use is this term called brilliantier. When a diamond is extracted from the earth, it goes to a marker who marks where it's to be cut. Then it goes to a saw who saws away all of the unnecessary parts. But then it goes to a brilliantier. That brilliantier is responsible for polishing and shaping that diamond so that it brilliantly shines from the inside out. Now I just need you to get next to a couple of folk and just kind of rub shoulders with them. Come on, just rub. Come on, rub. Some of you so conservative. Rub, come on, rub shoulders, rub. There we go, rub. All right. Now some of you a little bit looking at me like a deer standing in headlights. Let's do it the other way. Get your hands up like this. Say wax on,